Greetings, welcome back, and as seems to be the default these days, having a difficult time just picking one or even a handful of topics to talk about. There's just so much going on both in this country and the world. So I've decided that I'm not going to decide. I'm not going to pick a topic or topics. I'm just going to go to Twitter, see what's on my feed, and hopefully find some stuff to give my opinion on there. And let's jump right into it. Hit refresh, make sure we've got the latest stuff. And I've got a lot of interesting people I follow. So hopefully there will be a lot of stuff. Here's one from Jeff Simmerling, looking for Venezuelan friends. I think your problem with these students' protests is that they work. They've worked too historically many times. In this most evil country of militaristic thuggery, only these kind of protests have gotten us any kind of humanity. And he seems to be replying to somebody called Harry Bushnell. Okay. Don't know much about him. But Jeff is absolutely right. He's 100% correct. If these protests, if these occupations at the colleges weren't working, they wouldn't care. They would ignore them like they do every other protest or letter writing campaign. If it wasn't having an effect, if it wasn't actually growing and spreading, and if it wasn't obvious that they can't debate them on the merits, they can't debate them on the facts of the situation, they can't meet them at the proposition that Israel is committing a genocide, because they'd be forced to admit that, okay, yeah, maybe 40, 50,000 people killed in 6 months is a bit much. They can't do that. And I'm sure there's increased pressure because it's an election year. So not only does the corporate media have to do their little dance and pretend it's something that it's not and accuse them of being anti-Semitic, which apparently these days, according to Congress, means challenging or disparaging Israel in any way. You can't criticize Israel in the US of A. It's like that old Clash song from, I believe it was the 1980s. Know your rights. You have the right to free speech as long as you're not dumb enough to actually try it. And that's where we are, still. And it's on full display with the crackdowns on these campus demonstrations. If you can watch what's happening at UCLA and other campuses and still think we don't live in a police state, your thinker is broken. You need to get that fixed. I don't know what else to tell you about that. Let's see if we've got anything else. Oh, apparently there's suspected arson at Portland Police Training Facility. At least one person, the lovely tired peasant, thinks it's a beautiful sight, and I tend to agree. Oh, they damaged at least 15 patrol cars. What a shame. In 2016, if Bernie Sanders had run as an independent, he would have beaten both Hillary and Trump. That is interesting. I haven't seen that before. This is from Stephanie Von Tolen. But yeah, I I don't have any reason to automatically dismiss that. Um, I was disappointed that he and some other people didn't run as independents. Uh, we have got to transcend the duopoly if anything is ever going to fundamentally change. And without the party that he was ostensibly running in, the Democrats, kneecapping him at every turn, and they probably wouldn't have been as effective if he was a independent, because he wouldn't have been reliant on their machinery, their databases, their network. Uh, so yeah, I think he would have done better as an independent for sure. They wouldn't have been able to screw him at the primaries and caucuses themselves. They would have had to do it out in the the open competition of an election, and that's a completely different animal. Um, will anybody learn anything from that? I don't know. Seems like a couple of people may have, because we've got two independent candidates that I can think of right off this year, and that's two more than we usually have or ever hear about. So maybe the tide has changed on that, and that would be spectacular. Love to see more independence. Uh, Michael Ravella's, I believe that's how it's pronounced. In short, the U.S. House has passed an act that abridges free speech and the right to peaceably assemble, a blatant violation of the First Amendment of the United States Constitution. Yeah, been hearing a lot about this one. Uh, Apparently, in the U.S. of A., it is now, what, illegal, unthinkable, uh, prosecutable to disparage or challenge Israel in any way? Really? Is that where we are now? This doesn't do anything to counter the, let's call it a conspiracy theory, although most of them turn out to be 100% correct. But for now, let's call it a conspiracy theory that Israel owns the United States government. A lot of the media, uh, Hollywood, etc. This does nothing, absolutely nothing to dispel that vicious rumor. I would say that it tends to bolster it. It tends to lend credence to that rumor. This is insane. And again, I've got the Clash song running through my head. You have the right to free speech as long as you're not dumb enough to actually try it. How do these people keep getting elected? That's what I'd like to know. How do the people in Congress, which regularly polls like rock bottom as far as public opinion, how can that be true, and yet the same people come back again and again and again and again and again and again and keep doing the same crap over and over and screwing everybody? How? What goes on in people's minds that at the very same time they can say Congress sucks and, oh, but I guess I'll vote for my congressional representatives again? They're not that bad. They're on important committees, maybe. They're great fundraisers for the Democrats. What offsets the perception that Congress is abysmal at doing its job, but we keep sending the same people back to those offices repeatedly, sometimes for decades? How is it possible for those both to be a thing at the same time? I don't get it. I really wish somebody could explain that to me. I am baffled. Have to agree here, Californian. I don't have the words today for the anger I feel in this world. And everybody who is paying any attention must feel the same way. It's unavoidable. You can't cognitive dissonance your way out of feeling any other way about the stuff that's going on right now. Not only around the world, not only in the genocide in Gaza, the bombing of other countries in that region, trying to start a war with China while we've got a proxy war with Russia that could heat up again any moment now that they've gotten their, what is it, $61 billion? And I know most of that comes right back to people like Raytheon and Northrop Grumman. And it's a jobs program for the weapons manufacturers. But like 13, 14 billion, probably at least, is going directly to Ukraine. So they don't have any incentive to stop getting their people killed anytime soon. So with all that going on, then the cherry on top, you have the police cracking heads on college campuses. People all over the country just trying to stop a genocide being beaten and rounded up and thrown in jail, kicked out of school, doxxed, losing their jobs. They arrested a presidential candidate, Jill Stein of the Green Party. Oh, she should be used to that by now. It's not the first time they've done that. She was arrested once just for trying to attend one of the presidential debates. I think that was 2012. And then she was arrested again at Standing Rock for spray painting, what was it, peace and love or something on one of the bulldozers. Something completely innocuous, did no damage whatsoever, but hey, we're cops. What else are we going to do? We arrest people. We beat them up. We sick the dogs on them. We shoot them with tear gas and rubber bullets. We shower them with water in sub-zero temperatures. It's what we do. It's what we do. That is policing in America. And now this. So yeah, I guess one more arrest and Jill Stein can punch her card for a free pizza or something. I don't know. But I am so grateful we still have people like that, and even willing to be tangentially associated with our political system. We need more of them. But yeah, anger is the appropriate emotion to feel for the crap that's going on. 100%. Yeah, that's a good point. Blue check Beth. People who deny the otherwise blindingly obvious apartheid in Israel probably also wish South Africa would go back to the good old days. Pretty sure she's not talking specifically about Elon, even though he did or his his social media platform, his business, his corporation did kind of um, deplatform Nelson Mandela's grandson, I believe it was. Not a good look. It kind of makes you think that she might have been talking about Elon, or at least including him in the set of people to whom that would apply. But yeah, I can see it. People who deny the otherwise blindingly obvious apartheid in Israel probably also wish South Africa would go back to the good old days. End quotes. No doubt. Same mentality. Colonialist, apartheid, ethnic cleansing, genocidal, frickin' psychopaths. Every one of them. Okay, I haven't seen this officially yet. Jeff shared one from Megatron. Saudi Arabia to start arresting anyone who comments against Israel on social media? Really? Really? Well, I guess they didn't want to be out authoritarian by the USA. You know, they are a monarchy, so um, you know, being authoritarian, being despotic, it's kind of their lane as a monarchy. So I guess they saw what was going on here in the USA and said, "Hold my beer." Still not good news though. Michael Revalis again. APAC should not exist. Yeah, obviously. At the very least, they should have been registering as foreign agents this whole time because that's what they are. Everybody else has to register as foreign agents. Try to do what they do on behalf of some other country. Um, just for giggles. Let's say try to do that kind of stuff for Russia or China or Iran. See how far you get. But since it's Israel, no worries. Buy politicians. Interfere with elections. Dump as much money as you want into people running against the representatives you don't like, who aren't sufficiently sycophantic to Israel. No worries. That alone should earn them a ban. That alone should earn them um, being illegal in this country. You want to talk about election interference? Since the corporate media seems to be so wound up about election interference, election tampering, what about APAC? No other organization, much less country, in the world interferes in USA elections more than APAC and other Israel lobbies. No one. It's not even close. Our current president is like a lifetime top recipient of APAC money. I wonder if that had anything to do with how he has handled this situation, with why he's given them a blank check to do whatever they want in Gaza. I wonder, could it be? Well, yeah, I've got to go start getting ready now, unfortunately. But yeah, once I get back home, I will stitch this together. I'll probably remove some of the more boring bits where I'm looking for things. Might even add some. Um, But until then, yeah, be careful out there. It's getting wild. So take care of each other. Because we know for damn sure our government isn't going to. Later.